Hello students, now we will learn about different modifications under taproot system. Taproots have been modified for storage, for respiration, for nitrogen fixation and for producing reproductive roots. We will see one by one. So taproots have been modified into storage roots, respiratory roots, nodular roots and reproductive roots. So here some roots are meant for storing the food material inside their taproots. Such types are again reclassified into different subgroups, like first one, fusiform of storage root, second one, conical form of storage root, conical form, third one, nappy form of storage root, and fourth one, tuberous roots, tuberous form. So under taproot system, under storage type of taproot system, under fusiform, the example can be read as radish. So what is meant by this form? If this is the earth layer and these are the leaves, the part of the root that is touching the border of the earth layer is broad. It is broad, it is not narrow, it is broad. And it slowly develops that broad structure like this, and it slowly tapers. It slowly comes to narrow end. And here will be the leaves that are developed. So here for recognition, I will write leaves in green color. And on the taproot system, there will be a root hair-like structures like this. Here we have to see in fusiform, the base part, and this is apex part or tip part. Apex we will write tip of the root. Base is broad and slowly tapers. Tapers means it becomes too narrow. Tapers. So example under fusiform of storage root modification is radish. It is having root hairs. And these are leaves. These green color structures are leaves. Next one, conical form. If this is the earth layer and here will be the leaves like this, the area of the root that is touching the earth surface, it is initially broad like this. It is initially broad, but it tapers as a cone. Then here we are seeing some swelling, like little bit of swelling will be there in this root, but here in some types of roots there is no swelling from the broad end. It straightly ends with tapering end. Here also there are some roots, there are some leaves, and such type of shape is seen in case of carrot. Base is not swollen. Base is not broad or swollen. Next, nappy form. Here example we can write like beetroot. Beetroot. Here in case of beetroot, if this is the earth layer and these are the leaves, here the part that is touching the earth layer, it swells by storing of the food material, and that broad end which is touching the earth surface is still getting more broader, and suddenly it tapers at one point. So here we can write like here, this is the base part of the root. This is the tip. This is the tip. This is the base. So base is more swollen and becomes more broad and tapers or becomes narrow at one point suddenly. It is also having some roots like this. So this is fusiform. Next we will write tuberous form of taproot system here. So fourth type, tuberous. See, we should not take here potato as an example because we are using the term like tuberous. Potato is a stem, modified tuberous stem, but we should talk about tuberous roots. Here example is 4 o'clock plant. 4 o'clock plant. If you observe your NCERT textbook, first year NCERT textbook, along with the fusiform, carrot, radish, beetroot, etc., they have given the roots of this sweet potato. But sweet potato is an adventitious root. We should identify that one, and we should not write that adventitious root example along with this taproot modifications. So here tuberous root example is this one. So here if this is the earth layer, initially the part that is touching the earth layer is broad and these are the roots. In case of tuberous root, the tuberous root structure roughly looks like this. It is swollen at different parts of the root. This will be the root hairs or roots like small structures. So we can say in case of 4 o'clock plant, that is taproot system. This is taproot. Here root is swollen at different parts, different regions, and looks as tuber. Again I am telling, under tuberous root modifications, please don't write sweet potato. Under taproot system, tuberous root modifications, we can take example like a 4 o'clock plant because this example is in NEET syllabus. Next, under respiratory roots. So respiratory roots are also called as pneumatophores. You write also. So in which types of plants does these respiratory roots exist? Respiratory roots seen in mangrove plants. So the plants that are growing in mangrove region. What is mangrove region? Speciality means here this region is having equal proportion of mud and water mixture, soil mixture. So here there is very less chance for penetration of air into the soil because when there is a mud accumulated with water, some areas will be clogged with water on the upper surface. So air will not penetrate into the deeper soil or earth layers. In such cases, roots will not get oxygen. So for aeration, what happens? Roots will be growing negatively geotrophic and positively phototrophic towards the upper surface of the earth for aeration. They will be having some pore-like structures which are also called as lenticels or nematodes. So through that pore-like structures, the roots will be getting aeration. Now, under mangrove plants, example is Rhizophora. Rhizophora is the best example. So here, if this is the earth layer and somewhere here plant is there, I am now drawing a complete structure of the plant. So here think that this is the root. So what happens? This roots will be growing towards the upper surface like this. Like this. So these roots will be having some pores. For aeration only these are present. So these are called as lenticels or nematodes. Lenticels or nematodes. So these are for aeration, for penetration of air into the roots. So these points are enough up to the respiratory roots, because when we see the previous MCQs also, the questions are being asked up to this level only. So mangrove regions means the area that is having equal proportions of water and soil mixed mud. There is no chance of penetration of air into the mud region. Coming to nodular roots. Some plants are growing in such areas where nitrogen is deficient. So some plants, what they do, some plants will be converted into insectivorous. But here we are talking about a taproot system. So such a taproots, such a type of taproots which are fixing this atmospheric nitrogen for the growth and development of the plant. Example will be Leguminaceae family members or Fabaceae family members. Here we can take best example like groundnut, Bengal gram, etc. So nodular roots examples are Leguminaceae plants. They fix nitrogen. You get atmospheric nitrogen. So what happens when the plant is growing? These plants will be having some special type of red color, means oxygen removing coloring pigment called as leg hemoglobin. With the help of that leg hemoglobin, the soil will be containing other aerobic bacteria, that is rhizobium bacteria. But that aerobic bacteria will be having some enzyme, special type of enzyme called as nitrogenase, which will be working only in absence of oxygen. That oxygen will be removed by this leg hemoglobin, and some anaerobic conditions will be created inside the root cortex region. In the root cortex part, these nodules will be formed. So if we draw a structure in case of Leguminaceae plant, if this is the earth layer and this is the taproot, and these are the lateral roots, here will be the root nodules, where the cortex is touching the epidermis. There the nodules will be formed. Nitrogen nodules. So these are nodular roots seen in case of Leguminaceae family members. Next one, reproductive roots. Under reproductive roots, examples are Dalbergia sicciane. Dalbergia sicciane. So here what happens? The root develops a bud. Bud grows into new plant. But it will be dependent on the mother root till it is developed to certain time period. After its complete development, later, depending on the requirement, it will get separated. It means that one type of taproot itself is giving rise to new type of other root and plant. So here, if this is the earth layer, think these are the roots, and here this is the taproot system of Dalbergia sicciane. Itself it gives rise to new plant. You can say this is the baby plant. Okay, this is parent root, reproductive root. Means it is giving rise to new reproductive root from the root itself, parent root itself. Example is Dalbergia sicciane. So these are the examples under different types of modifications of taproot system.